During the summer of 2021, I decided to do something crazy. I decided to prepare 2 songs to send to the Dutch Eurovision Committee. Yes, I dream of representing my country one day at Eurovision. And even though I knew that I didn't really stand a chance, it was exactly the kind of push of motivation and the deadline that I needed to actually get serious about finally learning how to record and produce, which I had kind of been putting off because it was just so difficult and overwhelming. I was fantasizing about what it would be like if they would pick me and I would go to Italy. But at some point I was like, what if they don't? That 99.99% chance that they don't. And that's when I decided that if they wouldn't choose one of my songs, which they obviously didn't, I would make an album. And with that idea, the title and cover art immediately popped in my head and everything just clicked. I felt so energized and excited, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be it. I'm gonna DIY myself an album. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So that title that got me so enthusiastic was, drumroll, Pineapple Tales. You may have guessed already that it had something to do with a pineapple. But why a pineapple? What are pineapple tales? Not to be mistaken with the pineapple incident from How I Met Your Mother. Well, a pineapple is for me personally a symbol of what I am capable of. A symbol for overcoming difficulties and a reminder of my own strength. And well, DIYing an album isn't easy. And without resilience and stamina, I wouldn't have been able to pull this off. So the pineapple is like a condition for these tales to be told. The 3 themes of the album are mental strength, so the pineapple, home and the concept of home, and feeling at home, and of course, love. The cover is obviously me with the pineapple on the grass. We went to a large park on a sunny day and shot like 300 different pictures, and this is the one. That was it. I wanted very harsh and bright sunlight, which is very nice and was exactly the effect that I wanted, but it's not very easy to work with photography wise. Especially with the pineapple creating very harsh shadows on my face. And that I needed to like look up to the sunlight. Sometimes like kind of hiding behind the pineapple. But I also had a lot of shots where my eyes were visible and the pineapple was more next to my face. But the pineapple smelled so good and I had to hold it close to my face the whole time. And isn't it the most beautiful pineapple you've ever seen? Another interesting aspect of the cover shoot was that I really wanted daisies in the picture, but it was in the midst of summer. Daisies are a symbol for innocence and youth and also for joy, which is very fitting for most of the themes of this album, and also a nice contrast with what my next album is going to be. Yeah, I think that far ahead. So, the track list. At first I chose 14 songs, 14 of the songs that I felt most comfortable with and also that I felt were most approachable. I wanted this album to be a little more pop. I had also written more alternative songs, but I wanted to keep them for later. Not just which songs, but also the order is quite important, even in the streaming era, I think. Of course, people can just put it on shuffle or just listen to one of the songs, but I do think that the way you play songs in an album is another creative way of storytelling. I change it up quite often, the order of the song, but what should be the first and the last one, so the bookends, those were clear from the start, and I didn't even for a moment question that. So, let's get into the track list. I will quickly give a description or a teaser of each song and also tell you about why it is placed in that place on the album. The album will open with the song What If, no doubt about that. I wrote that song at the end of 2019 when I decided that I kind of actually wanted to share my music with the world. And at that time I had no idea that 3 years later I would release an album. It's like a motivational song to follow your dreams, stop with the excuses and take it one step at a time. Sound-wise, it's a dreamy, atmospheric song with rhythmic synths that kind of lets you go into a trance and really internalize the message of the song. I'm very happy with the lyrics. It was actually exactly what I needed to hear at the times during making this album that I wanted to almost give up. And yes, there were many of those moments. And this song was just exactly telling me what I needed to tell myself. And I really hope that this song can inspire others to be proactive towards their dreams as well. And this song had to be the opener because it all starts there. Up next, so maybe the first song, if you consider What If like a prologue, like an introduction, is Alchemy. It's about an idea in one of my favorite books, Een schitterend gebrek by Arthur Japin. It's in Dutch. It's a very small passage in the book that's about alchemy and magic and illusions. And it says something like that if you look at something in a different way or present it a different way, the thing itself changes, like lead into gold. And I thought this was a very interesting idea philosophically, so I wanted to write a song about it. I wrote it on my ukulele, but while I was writing it, I had a completely different vision for the sound in mind, and that is the version you're gonna hear on the album. If I did it the normal way and complete the album first and then pick a single and release it, it would be the next one, Banana Milkshake. I actually also wanted to release it as a single first before the album, but I just didn't get around to finishing it up first. It's super catchy, fun, summery, funny, weird, and retro. It does have a very funny background story and an interesting production journey. But I think I will make separate videos for each song to go more in depth about how and why I made each song, and keep it short for now because otherwise we will never get through this list. Next in line are Drown 'Em, Divergent and Let Me In. You might already know these three because I've already released them. Drown 'Em is a little more edgy, powerful, and it is all about that pineapple strength. Divergent is a classic piano and strings ballad, kind of Disney inspired, and it is related to my PhD research about empathy. And Let Me In is very emotional, but still very synthesizer based in the production. We actually made a full video clip for that one, almost like a short film with dance, so you can already check that out if you like. After that more seriousness, you might need a little pick-me-up. So up next is the unapologetically happy song Simple. And ironically, even though the song is called Simple, this was the most difficult one to produce and record. I've struggled with this one a lot, and I think 2 months ago I just opened a completely blank file and started over. But from that moment on, it all went pretty smoothly. But more on that in the video specifically dedicated to that song. But it's about just being happy in love and me struggling to consider that a good enough topic to write a song about. You know, because most interesting songs are about interesting, complicated things, not simple ones, except this one. Another light-hearted song is 8 AM. It gives an optimistic perspective towards long-distance relationships. I didn't want to write a song like, oh, I miss you so much, but more about I'm so thankful that you exist at all and I'm so much looking forward to seeing you again. I do also have a reflective moment in there to avoid toxic positivity, but in general it's a very lighthearted, optimistic, grateful song, kind of like Lucky by Colby Collet and Jason Mraz. But even though I was so optimistic in 8 AM, that relationship didn't work out, so I thought it was very ironic to follow it up with Nightmare. The song 8 AM ends with, "This is just the start," like so happy and hopeful and dreaming about the future. And then you hear that dark, moody piano intro of Nightmare, like, no, that future never happened. And I think this is my favorite. Not my favorite song as a song, but I think it turned out most beautifully. And I know that there are enough breakup songs in the world, but I do think this one has something to add to the world's breakup discography. So with some exception, like the last one, this album is pretty sunny. So after this emotional ballad, we go back to the beach with Same Road Back. The first song I released and the last one I wrote. Well, the last one of this album. I have written new songs since. Nightmare ends with, I feel kind of fine going back to where I came from. More on what that lyric means in the video about Nightmare. But then, going back to where I came from, going back, same road back? It makes sense. Kind of. Same Road Back is a chill, tropical house inspired track, contrasted by more serious lyrics about taking some distance from your thoughts with mindfulness and meditation. Kind of in line with Drownin' and that pineapple strength. I actually also literally sing in Same Road Back. You have all of this pineapple wisdom in you, and now you know what that means. We stay in the summer, but we go from the beach to a party. A homage to the city of Nijmegen, where I used to live as a student. This song is a love letter to Nijmegen, the student life there and the student life in general. It is a party song specifically imagined for an outdoor summer festival or party. And people from Nijmegen or the Netherlands in general may recognize references to de Vierdaagse feesten. Favorite place to go is an intimate piano ballad where I compare my partner to New York City. Yeah, that's the song in one sentence. And the final song is No Rush, a very slow atmospheric song where I made instruments from sound samples from New York City. And it is a love letter to New York City, but quite different from like New York, New York, or Empire State of Mind, or Welcome to New York, which are mostly about how energetic and exciting the city is. But this song, paradoxically, is about how at peace and at rest that city made me feel. Because it is so fast and energetic, just as fast and energetic and weird as I am, I finally actually found that I could just go with the flow and no rush because I was at the same pace as the city was. So, that's it. Now you know the title, the cover, the track list. You know everything, except for the songs. I'm very excited for the album to drop. Let me know in the comments which song you are most excited for, and make sure to subscribe to this channel to don't miss the release itself. You can also follow me on Spotify or Instagram or SoundCloud. And if you like this video, please let the algorithm know by clicking on the like button. That really helps me a lot. And for now, thank you for watching and see you in the next episode of DIYing my debut album. It's almost done.